Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis class, Monday the 15th of January. As always, please understand that any advice in today's session is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Okay, so let us have a look at what's on our agenda for this week, and let's have a bit of a chat about what's happened. Well, the flavor of last week, particularly towards the back end of the week, was all about US dollar weakness, and it was all started with the Bank of, rumors unofficially from the Bank of China that they were going to stop purchasing or at least dramatically reduce their purchase of US treasuries. As we all know, China is the largest holder of US treasuries, and should they stop purchasing, basically it would have a massive impact on the US dollar currency. And should they choose to purchase a different currency, for example like the euro, then the balance of power or sort of currency war would definitely be changing, and we could see a big slide on the US dollar. Of course, it was all started because the US was going to talking about imposing some taxes on certain commodities, which they know that the Chinese definitely need. So then, of course, China responded, basically saying that they're going to stop buying the treasuries, and well, we had essentially an economic verbal war. Nothing got confirmed by either party, but everybody in between reacted accordingly. Also, towards the end of the week, we saw news and comments from the ECB, again from the Bank of China and also from the Bank of Japan, which all basically left people a bit more scared or frightened from the US dollar, and they shifted their focus towards other currencies. So the US dollar had what we would say a bad week. It was none of its own doing. The data that was released for the US dollar was relatively in accordance to what was expected. The Fed Reserve did not come out and make any announcements about their monetary situation, but all the movements were based on what I've just mentioned. So that's pretty much what happened. Our own Aussie dollar continues to climb against the US dollar, and primarily on the back of the lack of appetite for US dollars, rather than strength from the Australian side of the pair. As it stands for this week, by far the most crucial data in terms of possibly affecting the markets the most will be coming from Canada. The Bank of Canada has got a monetary policy statement to release and interest rate decision to propose. So I don't believe we are expecting a change on the rate. But should something happen, and of course the statements and the direction for 2018 are very important on this. So any CAD traders, that happens on Thursday morning, our time, about 2 o'clock in the morning. From Australia, we have our unemployment change and rate, which are important to us. That happens on Thursday, and the other significant data for this particular week comes from the US, and it's basically unemployment claims, building permits are the dominant ones. Now, due to the nature of what's been released, and also given the fact that also last week the US CAD pair had a big impact by the news that the Trump presidency was going to pull out of the NAFTA agreements, which would basically impact Canada significantly. I believe that this particular week, the currency that is going to be affected the most by news is going to be the US CAD. And of course, we have a policy and rate decision from the CAD side. We've also got the building permits, unemployment from the US, and on top of that we have the sensitive situation with those NAFTA negotiations that are taking place and occurring at the moment. So there you have it. US CAD is possibly the one that's going to be impacted the most. As always, just understand that the times that I'm showing you are in my local time. That's Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time, and I'm located in Sydney for any newer people in the room. Alright guys, I will move on and bring my chart. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to type them in as we go along. Let's analyze what our charts are saying to us, and let's kick it off with our own Aussie dollar. Okay, now I was looking at the charts in the last, I don't know, a good 40 minutes, an hour, and there is a one-sided move, which basically means that there's not many opportunities, and I have specifically on the majors, which is what I analyze, and we're going to analyze right now. So as far as trading opportunities at this particular point, there isn't much happening, but nevertheless, let's have a look at it. This is our Aussie dollar, and we can see that we've been pretty much one direction since pretty much at the start to the back just before Christmas or December. It's been recovering. At the moment, this section here is a bit of an air gap. The next place where we may get some resistance, now of course the 80 level forms a psychological barrier. The 80 level is around about there. There could be some kind of a bounce in there. Okay, the next logical level where I would consider at any kind of trade would be over here, which has previously had some resistance. Even though there was some resistance, we still did see some big spikes go through there, so you need to be careful how you trade these. So what I would be looking for is some kind of price action at this level over here to then possibly have an opportunity for a shorting opportunity. The other options is we could get a dip right now, and if we do, we could get the continuation type trade. If we get a dip, and look, we nearly had one here during the week, but it quite didn't play out properly. That candle wasn't quite inside, but if you do get a dip through there and get the right price action set up, we could have a continuation type trade. If you're not willing to take those, well then basically you pretty much stay away from this particular pair. But in either case, we either have to wait for it to pull back and give me this, or for it to continue up and give me that, so that we can shoot that direction or as such. Alright, so unfortunately there's nothing right now on the Aussie, so let's just keep it moving along. Let's have a look at the Euro USD. Okay, the Euro USD benefited greatly on Friday from ECB comments and just an appetite towards the euro. We've basically broken. Let me just zoom out a little bit. I think we're in new heights right now. We can clearly see that that was the last major height. We've broken right through that. Let's zoom in again. Let's take a closer look. The logical trade for me, the logical trade is some kind of a retracement, possibly to about that area there. Look for price action again, and then continue with what could be, once we've broken that high, we've pulled back and we've tested it and we've gone through it, it could be the continuation of the overall uptrend. So that's the logical trade. All right, so we're not there right now. I don't have any other hot zone anywhere in this area that I could possibly look for a short, so that's not even on the cards at all. So the only thing that we can do in this particular case is, as I said, wait for some kind of a retracement, look for the price action, and then continue with the trend as I'm showing you right here. Okay, pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, it means no action right now for us. Oh, incidentally, last week's trade, the one that we took, it was based on a bit of a double top or something. I can't remember the exact setup, but it was this trade over here, and we traded in this direction. That trade hit the 1-to-1 level, and then I I moved my stop to my entry and I got stopped out right about there somewhere on the second half of the trade. So made 1-to-1 on the first half, second half I made 0. So it was a profitable trade overall. Okay, did anybody else? I did have a look at, there was quite a few of you guys that took that trade. I saw on your accounts. Is there anyone in the room that took that trade? The short on the Euro USD, it definitely hit the 1-to-1. Okay. Phoebe took that trade. Anybody else? Dave as well, and Paul. All right, good. Well done. All right, so with this one, we need to wait for a setup to form for us again. Let's move along. Let's have a look at the GBP USD. Geez, I just changed charts there, and they look very, very similar. Again, GBP on Friday took out that last high with this candle there, which basically means when we're making new highs or new lows, I don't really have a reference up the top for an area that I might be interested in going in the other direction. So, and taking out new highs or new lows is also a signal of trend continuation. So the only logical thing that we can do here is, again, same as the Euro USD, wait for it to pull back, look for the price action, and then continue with the trend. Okay, so we can often get many opportunities. When you get a good trend, we could get 3, 5, up to sometimes 7, 8 trades out of a trend, and basically just keep doing it until basically it fails. All right, so again, a boring looking chart, nothing on it for me right now. Hang on, wait a minute, I think I just saw something. Let me just check something. Give me one moment. No, it's okay. Maybe you could get a triple top. Let me just drop into a 4-hour chart. I just want to see it a bit better. What do we think of that line for a triple top, guys? What do we think? Which would be 1, 2, and 3 up there. Looks all right, huh? Yeah, it looks good. I just saw it. I didn't see it before. So let me just zoom in now. I've zoomed into a 4-hour chart, okay? So how much time do I have on this candle before it closes? Give me one moment. I can't read it. Okay, so now at 1 hour and 15 minutes before this current candle closes, let me just, at the moment as it stands, 137.48. Okay, as it stands right now, if this candle closes within that level, it'll be an inside candle. You will get a fractal up there because this is higher, and then we could trade in that direction. You've got an hour and 15 minutes before this candle closes. That's on a 4-hour chart, and that will be a triple top type trade. If you want it on a daily, you're going to have to wait at least 2 days to get the setup, okay? Because today's candle's got a higher high than yesterday's, so you've got to wait for today to finish, you've got to wait for tomorrow to finish, and it will be ready by Wednesday. Does that make sense for everybody? If you like the level, on a daily, the trade could be ready on Wednesday. If you want it right now, it could be ready in 1 hour and 15 minutes. Everybody clear on that message? Please talk to me if you're out there. Great, thank you. All right, I'll move on. I'll have a quick look at it right towards the end of the session, so I'll leave it on 4-hour setting just so that I can remember what's happening. Okay, moving along, let's have a look at, they're a little bit out of order today, but I've got gold next on my charts. Okay, let me just zoom out, check out what's happening on gold. Everybody knows that the Australian dollar is a commodity-based currency. It has a lot of similarities with your metals like your gold. So usually when gold's going up, so is the Aussie dollar. Okay, it tends to follow a lot, and if you look at the sequence over here, it looks very, very, very similar to the Aussie dollar going in one direction. I've marked out that high, brought it across over here. So the logical thing that I'm looking for is I'm looking for this. When we reach that level, I would be interested in taking a short. Now, of course, I still need confirmation of candle patterns. I'm not willing to just trade off the level, because what could happen is it could just go straight through. The candles could just come through and then just continue on, and if it continues through it, well then it really wasn't a double bottom. In essence, sorry, a double top. In essence, the only way that I know it's a double bottom is when it's already come back. But by then it's usually too late. So the best that we can do is we can look for an inside candle or an engulfing candle pattern in or around that region, and then that'll improve the probability for us to trade it in the other direction. So ideally what I would like is I'd like to see a candle like this, okay, and then next to it another little one like that, and then the next one I would be hoping to shoot in this direction as such. Okay, so just mark that level if anybody's interested in trading gold. It's going to happen around about the 1350 level. Okay, let's move along. Let's have a look at the US yen. Okay, this morning in the daily call, the US yen was my chart, and I can already see, and now I said it was a chart to look at, and what I was highlighting was a potential double bottom, but you can already see that it's already broken through, so it didn't set up. So this morning was quite difficult to find anything. This was the most interesting chart, and I did say ahead of time that it's not a trade, but put it in your hot list. Let's see if the double bottom forms, and as I'm showing you right now, it has not. So what I have found since then is a really nice channel where I've got one touch, two touches down the bottom. I've got one touch, and I'm just going to call this two, but there's actually three touches in there. Okay, but let's call it 1 and 2 over there. And so logically, what am I interested in? I'm interested in this section here to try and go back up the channel. Okay, this is my bread and butter type trade. This is the kind of trade that I absolutely love. I never hesitate. It's got the highest probability, and once the channel has been well formed, which this one looks very well defined, the probability of lots of people seeing this channel increases. More people see it, more people trade it, and that's what we need. We need more momentum, and it helps us along. Okay, so this one, US yen, really nice channel. Put it in your hot list. It's not ready yet, but it could be this week. At the rate the US is falling, it could be ready even maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. Okay, so let's keep it highlighted, and we'll come back and check on it. All right, let's move along. Let's have a look at the euro yen. Okay, last week euro yen. Actually, before I do that, I want to highlight something from last week. Anyone who's in the room last week, I put forward a trade, a 4-hour trade on a conversion triangle. I think it was the US yen, and the majority of the room voted no. Was it if anyone was there, was it the US yen? Can someone confirm for me? I'm on a different computer right now, and I don't have the markings on my chart. So if someone can just confirm with me, I think the trade looked something like this. I think it might have been, I was trying to do something like this. Do we remember? Just seeing who's in the room. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. It was this one. Thank you. Okay. So what I wanted to highlight was this. Okay. So the trade was basically there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's focus on the top line. I believe the trade was. Let me see. Give me one moment. Oh, actually, now I'm having second. Oh, okay. It was on a 4-hour chart. That's why I can't see it. Give me 1 second. Oh, here it is. Okay. It was right in there. And at the time when I saw it, we were approximately here on a green candle, and everybody was worried that we were going to get stopped out. Okay. Now, what the point that I wanted to highlight is as follows. Depending, when you drop in to a 4-hour chart like this, sometimes you've got to give your trade a little bit of room to breathe. So if you had just put your stop just there, immediately above the high, okay, you probably would have got stopped over here. And then shortly after, look what happened. The trade was good. The levels were really, really solid. Okay, there was just a lot of momentum going into a London session that sometimes just spikes you through. So let me just measure and see what distance. So it only went through by eight pips. So typically, like if I drop into like a 4-hour chart or something like that, trading off a level, I might put a stop at about 15 pips just to give you an idea, because I took this trade and I didn't get stopped out. So, and from memory, I was at about 15 pips. So I just wanted to highlight that to you, because I did get one email from someone that also took it. And they were asking me about the stops, and I made this comment to them, and I actually don't know what the result was, because I forgot to follow it up. But anyway, just please keep that in the back of your mind. And what you can do is just write it into your rules so that you don't have that to make that decision when it's occurring then and there. Okay. All right. So US yen, let's move along. As I said, we're following that. I just wanted to highlight something from last week. Euro yen, let's have a look. Euro yen, we had broken out of this channel. We were coming back here. I was looking for a test trade, but there was no price action, so nothing happened. And right now, when I look at this, actually nothing's still happening. There was an inside, not quite. It was very similar, but not quite. There's nothing here. So let me just sit this one out. This one's not really. Let me zoom out a sec. Give me one moment. Okay, I need this one to start to form something. Right now, nothing's really happening on it. So let's leave it alone. Okay. Kiwi dollar on an exponential run, also, like most, against the US dollar. And right now the only logical kind of trade that I can see is some kind of a retracement, look for your price action, and then continue with the run that it's been on. There's nothing else that I can really see here. Maybe when we get towards this level, could be interested in perhaps a short, but that level's not, it's not that good. This one is much more important. So this one here, I wouldn't be willing to trade off that level. Okay, so still I believe this one is my preferred one. Questions being asked. Paul's asking, today's a US public holiday, would that change things? No, not necessarily. Okay, the market still moves. It's a lot of people in the US, but Europe moves the US dollar as well. So usually when I trade technically, I'll still, if I got the setups that I'm looking for, I generally will just take the trades that I'm after. Okay. All right, so that's my Kiwi dollar. Let me have a look at oil, WTI. Okay, exponential run. Let's see. It's important to note that we have gone past those levels. So these levels are higher, which basically right now means that this whole area here is empty. Okay. Whenever you clear previous highs or previous lows, generally what you're doing is you're cleaning up all the orders that are sitting in the market. They all get taken out and you're going into new uncharted waters, so to speak. It's not quite like that, but you can imagine it like that, which basically means I don't know which is the level where I would be interested in trading back down against this exponential move. So when I don't know, I just don't trade it. And the best type of trade, again, like I said before, it's a little bit boring, a little bit repetitive, but it's pull back, look for the entry, and then continue it along. Okay, it's the best type of trade when you are inside a trend. All right, we'll move. Let's have a look at our Aussie Index. The Aussie 200. This one's really strange because a lot of the other indices, and of course our generally like the stock market, we follow or we lag a little bit behind the US or Europe. When you look at, say, the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, they're just going up like exponentially. The markets are just absolutely going, for lack of a better expression, they're going gun-ho, just straight up. Ours did and moved, but it's had a bit of a pullback, and not quite. Let me give me a sec. Let me see. Is that? Oh, that's not quite an entry. It's very close, but that little green one there is not an inside candle. It is higher. It has a higher high than this one, so therefore it's not an inside candle, and it doesn't qualify to be able to trade it as in that direction. So let's leave it. Price action tells us no, so let's leave it alone and let's see if anything else can develop from that. Okay, guys, I've covered all the majors. As I said today, the charts are just not inducive to setups. The only one that could happen promptly is the GBP USD on a 4-hour time frame, and there's about 50 minutes for that. Oh, sorry, about an hour for that candle to finish. And on the proviso that this current candle here that I'm pointing at right now stays inside of that one, and I'm on a 4-hour chart, okay, then you could have the setup to trade back down. And the reason for that would be a triple touch. When I zoom out, you can see it. There it is, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Karen's asking me, can I have a look at the Aussie Yen? Yes, I can. Let me have a quick change over. Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen, Aussie Yen. Oh, there's a trade there right now, Karen. On the assumption that we are in a trend, we have pulled back. We have 3 sets of inside candles. Okay. So this one's inside that one's inside of this one. So therefore, at the break, which is, it's probably just happened now, it's just triggered in that direction, and it's in place your stop around about here somewhere. So that's that would be an entry if you are an Aussie Yen trader. That is, it's just triggered just now as well. Okay, great. Anybody else have any questions you'd like me to have a look at? Question, do I trade the Aussie 200 the same way? The answer, Dave, is yes, because I'm trading the price activity, and when you trade price action, essentially what you're doing is you're trading the sentiment of the market and the players who are trading the market. Okay, so I'm not trading the fundamentals, I'm trading with the reaction that everybody is having and the sentiment of the market, if that makes sense. That's what price action is about. It's a study of price and price movement, and essentially price is moved by the participants, which is us. Okay. Any other questions? I think probably from this, well, last week we started to get more to the usual amount of volumes and volatility with the currency markets. Pretty much after today, the public holiday in the US, etc., we should be back at full volumes, during this week, and back to normalities in terms of volumes and volatility that we can expect from the currency and the financial markets. So that's good news. So we'll have lots and lots of, hopefully more opportunities to spot trades. Okay, well, look, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up for today. Okay, oh, hang on, someone wants to have a look at the CAD US. Yeah, that'll make sense. I talked about it today. CAD US, let's have a look at it. US CAD. Okay, well, it appears that it appears maybe to start trending in the other direction. In either case, in any case, there's no setup here exactly, so you haven't missed out on anything. So what I would like it to see, I'd like it to break through this level, then pull back, and then that would be like the first concrete opportunity to basically signal a trend change from that to this. Okay, so I would want that to happen before I start to look for the shorting type trade. Okay, before I wrap up, any last requests? No? Alright, well then look, I'll close up for now. Hope you all guys have a great trading week. If you have any questions, just feel free to email us. Just the invitation email that you get for this class, just hit reply on that one, send it through. It'll get to me, and I'll make sure that I respond to you. Now have a great week, and keep watching the daily call every morning, and I'll speak to you next Monday. Bye for now.